Well, hello and welcome to our week five of Going Pro with sharing and closing. I just want to thank you guys for staying the course and being involved and watching each week. I hope that you're growing and just becoming better and better. My only hope is that you truly would go pro in your business and that you would take this really seriously and that you would study and you would get better and that you would take action and you wouldn't wait till you're perfect to achieve things, because I today still am learning and have not perfected everything. And so I just want to talk to you guys about team building with confidence today. And you guys, I want you to know that team building was my biggest fear. My biggest fear. So if you're still scared today with sharing or you care what people think, I get it. Because when I started, I was 22 and I was really shy. I didn't have the confidence. I had no business sense. I had never worked in the corporate world. I didn't feel equipped, but I knew I had to get good at it to move up the career path, to become a director, to earn my car, and to be a national. And I had to face my fear straight on. And so I learned so much from my family, from my senior, Joanne, and my recruiter, Jessica. Joanne was the queen of sharing. Jessica was the runner-up. So my family was really good at sharing the opportunity. That's just what they did. That's what they taught us. It's what I knew. And so I really learned to master it. And as you guys know, what was my biggest fear became my biggest strength. And so I'd love for that to happen to you, that your biggest fear would become your biggest strength. And the only way to face that fear is to face it head on, right? And just to do it. So, so yes, I did the B my first year. And then I was the queen of sharing my second full year in Mary Kay. Then I was runner-up the third year, and then I got another B. So I believe that 4 years of the B, especially 3 years of working really hard to be on the top 10 in your court, really sets you up to have a strong organization and to build a strong national area. So how did I get solid on my marketing skills? How did I get solid? So I hope you have your pen and paper and you're ready to write. How did I improve? With practice. That's how I got better. I know you want to think that there's a different answer, but that's how I got better. And so I stayed late at the meeting. I watched the Cadillac sales directors. I watched how the directors talked, how they overcame objections, their body language. I took notes. I would record them. Anytime there was a top director speaking, I would take notes and really learn the body language. I came on conference calls. We didn't have Google Hangouts and Voxer back then, but I came on conference calls every time there was a marketing opportunity that my director national did. I listened. Now today we're blessed, aren't we, with all these team building YouTube clips that nationals have and all that the company has. We're so blessed. So I practiced when I was alone. I practiced when I was driving. I practiced on friends. I even told my clients that I was facialing or at skincare parties, hey, I'm practicing. I'm just mastering my skills. I just need to use you as a guinea pig. I never waited until I got good to take action. I never waited till I got really good to take action. You feel forward to success, don't you? So let's talk about building a solid team, because I know that's why you're all on here, right? And that is going to help us build a solid organization and become a national. So I think the first thing you need to know is that you've got to be prepared for the team. You've got to be prepared for the team. For God to bless you with the team, you've got to be prepared for the team. And so you will be blessed with the team when you are ready. You want to treat this like a business. So are you equipped? Whether you have 0 team members or 100 and you're watching this, you guys, you can change things in the blink of an eye when you make a decision to. But if you are going to be a top director, if you are going to be a top national, you have to act as though you want to be. So therefore, you need to be prepared that you are going to sign 5 people next week, that you are going to add 20 new people into your organization. And so when you do that, you need to be prepared. And so I would say when I started really recruiting, I had about 50 of these, and whatever marketing you use, front and back, I always had 50. I want you to have 50 of these prepared. I had agreements. I had Mary Kay agreements, because the more you throw up, the more that comes down. So don't just have one piddly set of 5. I want you to order at least 5 sets? Have 5 sets of 5, because that's going to be your unit right there. Do you have a closing sheet or an I love your opinion form where you can get their information? Do you have 50 of those ready to go? Do you have invitations to your meeting? Do you have your business card? Do you have our Dare Area app or whatever app that you use that your national has? And there's a team building section that as soon as you bring a guest to a meeting or after you have a facial, if she's like, gosh, I just need to think and pray about this, and you can text them the correct video that would really attract that person. And that's why it's important to know those videos, so that you know top directors and national stories, so you know the right story to send them that'll attract that person. So you just need to have it all prepared. If you are believing that the team is coming, if you're believing that you're gold medaling this month, that you're adding 20 new people to your organization, then you've got to have the new consultant packets ready. You've got to have the 50 marketing plans, you know, and the 20 new consultant packets in your bag ready. You've got to have, you know, 25 agreements right there, and your closing sheets, or your I love your opinion form, or your whatever, I love Ponder Pink, whatever form you use, a closing sheet, so you can get her information, so you can follow up, or your director can follow up. So you gotta be prepared. Are you prepared for the team? Are you? If you are, good. If you're not, go get prepared like today. Okay, number 2, you have to share your passionate, heartfelt I story. This is why people join you guys. Here's the secret. Because they love Mary Kay and because they love you. Because they love the product and they love you. Are you letting people in? Are you letting people know who you are? They are joining because they like you and they can trust you and they really know who you are. So maybe you've had your story planned, or maybe you need to revamp your story, or maybe you've been too scared to share your story. You guys, your story is important. That's why people want to join your team, because they can connect with you. And I remember that I grew into my story. You know, when I first started, it was, hi, my name's Dacia Wiegandt. I'm so excited. I just started my brand new business, and, you know, never ever saw myself doing Mary Kay. My mom used Mary Kay. I used to paint my walls and dolls with Mary Kay, but I just never saw myself doing that. I was shy. I thought that Mary Kay was for the older lady with the big hair and the big pink Cadillac. And I was just out of the University of Florida. I was studying education and I needed more in my life. And I went to this Mary Kay meeting, and there was this poor preacher's wife talking about how she was making $10,000 a month, and how Mary Kay's philosophy was God first, family second, career third. And I thought, why not? I need to make extra money. I wanted to earn a car. So here I am doing this while teaching full time, tutoring after school, and planning a wedding for 400 people. And I'm just doing this about 6 to 8 hours a week. I'm working towards earning my car, and I'm looking for other fabulous women that want to change their life. And so this has changed my life, and I know that it can change yours. And Mary Kay said that there's one beauty consultant at every skincare party. And so today I'm going to share with you, maybe you know somebody that would be great, or maybe you've been praying or looking for a way to change your own life. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit. And so that was my first story. And then, like, as I earned a car, and as I earned diamonds, and as I earned trips, and as, you know, I started changing people's lives, my story expanded. So your story will change. So maybe you need to add some humor to it. Maybe you need to let people in to know who you really are. Maybe you just need to revamp it. So how do you do that? You know, well, the teacher in me wants to say, you know, just take a sheet of paper and literally just start writing out words, thoughts that you had when you first started Mary Kay, or thoughts that you had prior to Mary Kay, or ways that you've grown, things you've seen, things that you're working on. And so all those words will start creating your story. And you want to make it fun. You want to make it real. You want to let people in, because it's so important, you guys. So in the beginning of whether it's a one-on-one facial or a skincare party, you have to share your story. If you're picking up a guest to a meeting, you have to share your story. Well, first of all, when she gets in the car, you want to ask her, so tell me about you. What's been going on? You want to ask about her, it's about her. But then she's going to say, so tell me how you got into Mary Kay. And then that's where you share your story. Or maybe there's 5-10 minutes where you're sitting there with your guests waiting for the meeting to start. That's a chance to share your story. So get your story on paper and get passionate about sharing your story. And I want you to Voxer your story to your senior, especially if you're not a director, and tell her your story, or maybe work with your director on how you can enhance your story. Don't be afraid. Do it today. Number 3, I want you to have a system for marketing everyone at your parties. You guys, the reason I got to where I am, I love Mary Kay and I believe in everything she said, but the one thing I didn't agree with, she said, was select one person at every party to share the opportunity. That to me is absurd. Let me tell you why. Because that means I've got to go through 5 parties to just get 1 team member. When if I just have 5 people at a party and I share with all of them, I'm going to get 1 team member. So why wouldn't I share with everyone? Never prejudge. So you want to have a system for marketing, a system for sharing your opportunity. So I believe sharing is kind of like writing an essay. You've got an opening, you've got a middle, and you've got a close. Your opening is your enthusiastic I story. You're letting people into your story. You're letting in, you're capturing their attention. You know, that's the beginning, and that starts at the beginning of the class of the facial. The middle part is going to be your Mrs. Cab or your recruiting notebook or whatever you want to use, okay? So at the end, I'm going to share with you what that might kind of look like, okay? So the beginning is your I story. The middle is the Mrs. Cab or whatever you want to use, and you could just get a purse or a bag and you could put objects in there. So for like M, you could have you know, fake money, or you could have a copy of your Director of Nationals paycheck or your paycheck, or you know what, sometimes even is more relatable, you taking your highest skincare party, like, and adding up the receipts and showing them that, like making copies of some of your highest parties and just showing that, because that's relatable. So you could put that in the bag. You could put pictures of prizes or the Star Consultant brochure in your Mrs. Cab bag. You can put a picture of you prior to Mary Kay and you now with the personal growth, a picture of that personal growth. You can put keys to the car or pictures of the car, have a tiny little car. You can put, you know, you could put a picture, you could have something that symbolizes faith. You could have in there something that shows personal growth, you know, whatever you want. So the M for money, find something that represents that, whether it's fake money or a printout of your director's paycheck or your nationals or your highest parties, you know, pictures of those receipts, because that's relatable, and put it in a paper clip. Recognition, like I said, could have a picture of you on stage, things like that. And then the S would be for, you know, your personal self-growth. You could have a before and after picture of yourself. The C is for cars. Like I said, have little pictures of cars and so forth. The A is you can have pictures of, you can have the career path, show you're showing your, you know, that you're moving on up and the advantages of that. And then the B is for be your own boss. So you could have a rubber band for flexibility or whatever that represents to you. But the point is, and I think a great place to play the Mrs. Cab game is right after the primer. So you put on the moisturizer, you put on the primer, and then you could do the Mrs. Cab game right there, or whatever game you want to play to kind of capture their attention, okay? And then the end for me is sharing more of the facts and figures. So for example, like after you have the close, after you do your roll it back close and you meet with everyone separately, you ask them to bring their I love your opinion form so that you can now really get, you can find out their number and you can find out their concerns to really help close them right there. And for some of the women that can stay at the end, you can go over more facts and figures, but for the ones that were 6 or above, they can stay and then you can go over some more detailed facts and figures. So again, there's the opening is the enthusiastic I story, there's the Mrs. Cab or your purse game in the middle, and then you've got your numbers at the end where you're really kind of sitting down with those 6s and above, or those D's, buy me a cup of coffee, or A, absolutely. So you want to have a system. Number 4, you guys, pray for the qualities that you want. Pray for the qualities that you want. You know, you can get what you want. What do you want in a team member? Do you want someone that has integrity, that's hardworking, that loves the Lord, that has wisdom, that has diligence? I want you to write out all the characteristics that you want in a team member. And I want you to write it out. And when you're doing your miracle morning, I want you to pray over that. Because when you're praying over that and you're circling that, when you get to that facial, that party, you're going to recognize it. You're going to recognize it and you're going to know what it is and you're going to know what you want. You're going to know what you're going to go after because you're going to share it with everyone. But you're going to go after maybe some people over others because you really, really want them on their team. So circle it with prayer and pray over it. Pray over the characteristics and recognize it and ask God for you to see it and to be able to follow through. Number 5, know how to work with your I love your opinion forms, okay? You do not want to leave your party without getting your customer profile card and your I love your opinion forms, which we're going to email to you, or your Ponder Pink or whatever it is. Because, you know, when I look at these I love your opinion forms, first of all, it's a great follow-up tool. You know, if I'm leaving the party after 8 people, you know, I've sold $500, it's crazy. I take these home, put a little safety clip on it, and the next day I'm first of all looking at their handwriting. I'll tell you, you can tell a lot about someone's handwriting. I look at the age. I really focus on a lot more follow-up. Look, if my unit members are giving me all these, I'll focus on calling people, first of all, that are over 25 first, that have really neat handwriting, and that were 6 or above. I mean, there's just something about it. And so it's just common sense to start with those that were higher numbers, or A or B, or that had really clean handwriting, or over 25. And those are just like little tips that I look for. And if they're writing positive things about themselves, that means they have really high self-esteem. And so you guys, in this day and age, what I have found is that follow-up is key right now. What I am finding more now is that I'm sharing at the party, I'm sharing at the facial, but I'm having to give them a team building video and following up with them the next day over coffee, or bring them to a meeting, or following up the next day through FaceTime or over the phone. Coffee works really well. And so the way you can get them to come is by saying, hey, I'd love to, buy you coffee, and I know that today you couldn't get that little lip gloss, so I want to make sure I bring that to you. That way, you're getting to sit them down, but there's something that they want. What do they want? So that they will carve out time to listen to you. Because sometimes people, they're rushed and they need to process, and they need to know that you're going to follow up and be there with them. So follow up is huge. And so knowing how to work those I love your opinion forms. And also another thing is I get a roll of tickets. So when you are doing the Mrs. Cab game, or you're sharing the opportunity, or they're asking questions, you've got tickets to give them. And some of the main questions I ask after sharing the Mrs. Cab or the numbers is, what appealed to you most about what you heard? And someone will say the money, and I give them a ticket. Or someone says, oh, being your own boss, or I love the philosophy. But if they don't talk, I pull it out of them. I'm like, okay, Susie, so tell me what you think. Like, I get them involved, and I get them tickets and get them excited. And then I say, and I always assume that they're all signing. So let's just say that you decide to join. Like, what quality do you have that would make a great beauty consultant? Because I want them to start looking within and really flattering themselves. And someone might say, well, I'm great with people, or I'm this, or I'm that. And I give them tickets for that. And then I say, okay, and I actually overcome objections first. I actually overcome objections before they're spoken. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in the next thing that I'm going to tell you. But I actually overcome objections first. So whatever, like after I overcome them, I'd say, is there any more that I haven't answered? And I give them tickets for asking more questions. Okay, and normally, since I'm bringing a new consultant to every party, another excuse for me sharing is, I've got to teach my new consultant how to do this. So you guys are my guinea pigs. You guys are my guinea pigs. And so I just want to see how I do. Oh, I got like a hair on my mouth. Sorry. I just want to see how I do. So would you mind if I, just share this? I'm training a consultant, and I just want to get your opinion. You're going to get tickets for free product. So you've got to know how to work this. Okay. And then, number 6 is mastering overcoming objections. And so I am emailing today, you guys, some of my best ways to overcome objections. There's 4 or 5 that I hear the most. And so like I told you, after I share the marketing with the facts and figures, and I pass out the I love your opinion form, before I pass out the I love your opinion form, I actually overcome objections before I give it to them, because I want to overcome them before they're spoken. That's the best way to overcome an objection, is to overcome it before it's spoken. So after I tell them all the great things, I say, okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I don't have time. I'm super busy. Is everyone busy here? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, girls. So what I have found is that busier women get so much more done in less time. So it's when you're busy is when you're seeing people with skin. It's when you're taking the kids to school, and you're going to church, and you're at the baseball park, and you're doing dance, and you're doing life. It's when you see people's skin. So if you're busy, that's good. We want women that's busier. Busier women get so much more done. 80% of our women still work full-time jobs and do this on the side. So we want busy women. The second thing I hear women say is, I'm shy, or I'm not the sales type. What I have found is that women don't enjoy being shy. And I ask them, is there any shy people here? Probably not, because you're so shy, you don't want to tell me that. What I have found is that most women don't want to be shy, and they're just like, oh, I don't want to be shy. And so you guys, how many of you feared going to that speech class? Well, this is like, you're not going to feel the growth is what I'm trying to say. You're going to learn to step outside your comfort zone, and you're not even going to feel it, because you're sitting down with a woman, you're making her look good and feel good. She buys $100 without even doing anything. And, you know, all of a sudden someone's thanking you for you sharing with them, and you're earning a car and you're moving up, and all of a sudden you go from being shy to like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this. And so you grow in a way where you don't even feel the process. It's so much fun. And so if you're shy, I definitely suggest doing Mary Kay, because it's such a great way to get out of your shell. And the other thing is that your customers and your friends, they're going to buy from different people, because I have all walks of life on my team. I have shy, I have outgoing, I have somewhere in between. You know, we've got extroverts, we've got introverts. So we've got all walks of life. So I give them examples of that. And then the third concern you could have is you don't have the money. And that's why you should do this, because aren't you so tired of $100 being an issue? Aren't you so tired of $100 being an issue? It doesn't have to be an issue any longer. And so we know that it takes money to make money. And so, you know, if you go back to further your education, it takes money. You know, to start a business, it takes money. So it's a $100 decision. I mean, I at $22 put it on a credit card, and it changed my life. And then the last thing I tell them is the biggest thing that can hold you back today is just fear. And everything new is scary. And I relate it to, you start a new job, you're scary. You're marrying someone, it's scary. You have your first child, your third child, it's scary. Anything new is scary. But guess what? You'll never know unless you try. You never know unless you try. So I would love to have you on my team. I see some qualities in you that would make a great beauty consultant. And so let's just face the fear and do it anyway. Okay? So you've got to learn how to overcome, I don't have time. I'm shy. I'm not the sales type. The money, my kids, my husband. So I'm going to send you an overcoming objection sheet that I want you to memorize, and that's part of your homework. I want you to memorize it and get really good that if anybody gave you an objection, that you would be able to overcome it. And just, if someone gives you something and you really don't know how to answer it, the best thing to do is just sit and pause, and you should be really caring anyway and pausing and thinking, but repeat her question again to give yourself time to think of how you're going to overcome it. So if they say, well, I just don't know if my husband would want me to do it. So I would be like, okay, so what I hear you saying is you're concerned about what your husband would think. Yeah? Okay. Well, just to be funny, I think it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, just to be funny with you. But what I have found is that, you know, men support their wife, and they know that when mom is happy, everybody's happy. So if you were just to come home and be like, I'm doing Mary Kay, I'm so excited, like, of course he's going to ask you questions and make you feel inferior. But if you were to leave tonight and I was to coach you with what to say to him and how to get him excited, and for you to come back at him and say, listen, this is what I want to do. This is my game plan, and this is how I'm going to do it. He's going to really respect you instead of question you. And so I'm going to equip you with the right answers, and we're going to figure out why you're going to do this. We're going to figure out when you're going to do it, and we're going to figure out how you're going to do it, so that when he comes home and be like, well, how do you make money and how do you do this? Like, you're going to know, because I'm going to equip you. Okay, so you've got to be fun. You've got to be relatable with overcoming objections. Okay, so always repeat what they say, really listen to what they say, and overcome it in a way that you would want an objection overcome. How would you want to be spoken to? Okay, it's not looking all around. It's not just memorizing it and making it the same without any heart. You've got to really think of who's in front of you and how does she want to hear it? How will it soothe her? How will it comfort her? Okay, number 7, you guys, mastering the close. Mastering the close. So many times we get people to a 6 or we get people to a B, and it's like, ugh, how do I get them from here to here? Okay, and this is an art, and this is what top directors and nationals have mastered. Okay, so I don't want to just, a lot of people just leave things out on the table. Like, they come home with a bunch of 6s, or they come home with a bunch of Bs, but they're not taking it from a B to an A and getting them to decide. Well, I think one of the major tips is I always have agreements in front of them and a pen, because I'm assuming they're signing, and I'm shaking my head. And when you're shaking your head and you're smiling and you're taking your right eye into their right eye, which builds trust, you're going to have a greater recruiting ratio. So just a side tip, it's knowing who you are sharing. So if I'm with a D, and I know that I'm with a D when I walk into the room, she hugs me and she pats me on the back real firmly, or she's really to the point, or prepared, or maybe when I ask her about her job, she's like, oh, well, I'm the director of da-da-da-da-da. They like titles. So when I'm sharing with them, it's very short, it's to the point, it's about the career path, it's about how they get paid. And the best way to kind of get someone from a 6 to a 10, especially if they're a D, this is my favorite one, is, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. There's a great, there's an amazing career path where there's incredible leadership, but you know what? It's not for everyone. And a D is kind of like taken back, like, you don't think I can do it? So I know it's kind of my way of doing things, but honestly, they're like, well, I can do it. So you kind of have to challenge a D a little bit. Really short, to the point, get to the numbers, make it about leadership, make it about the career path, and it's not for everyone. An I personality, it's going to be a longer interview. You have to become her friend. You have to talk about making a difference, you being friends with her, how much fun the events are, showing them pictures. The only reason I signed was I saw a picture of everything I was getting in the starter kit, because it just made sense. You have a ring, let her try on the ring, and tell her, I really want to work with you. It'll be so much fun. So make it fun. You're with an S personality. Go back to the philosophy of God, family, career. Slow down your presentation. Calm down, soothe her, find out what her goals are, and teach her how to incorporate that with her children and her why. With a C personality, talk about the tax deductions. Talk about the tax deductions. Tell her about the 90% buyback. Talk to her about the ongoing education, that we have tracking, that we have scripts that work, because that will calm her, that will comfort her. It's all about comforting the person in front of you and really speaking their language, okay? So first of all, it's knowing personality style. So if you haven't studied the DISC, which we're gonna talk more about that next week, people skills, how to talk to people, how to work with people, how to become a pro at mastering people. And both Joanne and I are very good at that. But it's knowing who you're in front of and talking their language. And so, some of my, well, we're going to go over that in a little bit. I'm going to go over closing statements in a little bit. But the point is, know who you're in front of, and really, 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 you've got to learn to master that close. You want to get them from that 6 to a 10, or that 8 through a 10. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Okay, number 8, body language. This is huge, you guys. You cannot be looking all around. The biggest skills I've learned is you always take your right eye into their right eye, because that builds trust. When I'm closing someone, I'll either get on my knees next to them and look up, or I sit next to them. I don't ever overpower anybody when I'm closing them. I always kind of come down on their level, making them think that I'm inferior than them, they're greater than. And so that is an art. So take your right eye into their right eye and nod at your head. Not too much, but okay, yes, I'm listening, yes. And you don't take your eyes off of them. And there's times where I would get on my knees and I would look into their eyes, and I'd look up and I would say, I would just love to have you on my team. I know you're a 6. What more information could I get you from a 6 to a 10? I would love to have you on my team. And they would see that love and that compassion in my heart and my eyes, and I'm shaking my head, and I've got the agreement there, and I've got the pen, and I'm assuming the signing, and it's that body language, you guys. So the eye contact, the smile, the nodding of your head. The great closing statement is, so is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. So is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. Okay, so that is body language. Number 9, working the layering chart. You guys, you're going to print out this team building as a layering chart that I'm going to email you. You guys, this is so old school, but it is not old school, because it is so important, you guys. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to put their name, and I always make sure that before I look at the yes or no, have I layered them properly? Because you guys, I've never just marketed. I've always put product on people's faces, because this business is about book, sell, book, recruit. Book, sell, book, recruit. You'll have the best team members when they're worked full circle. If they just come in signing without trying the product or knowing what they're doing, they really end up teaching their future consultants how to do that, and they're really building their house on sand. And so I like to model what I want them to do. So that's why when I want someone on my team, I always get them in front of the product, whether it's through a facial or a skincare party. So have they tried the product? Do they love the product? Have they been a hostess? Have they listened to a video? Have they had a team building packet? Have they listened to a team building YouTube clip? Have they attended a guest event? Have you done follow-up? Have you done a career chat? So what I want you to do, and it's part of your homework, I want you to write out all of your customers, all the people that you've been layering. And I would print out like as many of these as possible and staple it and just always keep adding. And so as you're having a guest event or a big event coming up, go back and look, oh, I just facialed them. I didn't have coffee. Or, oh, I facialed them and they bought, but I've never invited them to a guest event. Or they've bought stuff, they've done a party, but they've never come to a meeting, or they've never watched my video. So you can see where your holes are, where your gaps are, so that you know, because some people have to have it all. Some people have to be facial, host just a party, watch YouTube, go to a meeting, and then have 1 or 2 career chats with the director. Some of them might do all that and might not for a year later join. And some might say no. But the point is, you've got to be layering. You've got to be layering. It's huge, you guys. So if you're not layering and you're just getting in front of people, and if they're no, like right then and there, and you just move on, you're missing so many people. You're missing so many people. So work that layering chart. Number 10, it's a numbers game. You guys, it's a numbers game. People will disappoint you. Numbers never will. I told you that. So you guys, what I have found, and there's always exceptions, when you're a new consultant, it's normally 1 out of every 10 you interview will join. When you become a director, it's normally 1 out of every 5. And when you become a national like myself, it's normally 1 out of every 2. And it's just because your persuasion skills increase. That's all. It's because your persuasion skills are increasing. The more you do it, you get better. So it's numbers. So, there's times where I didn't feel like doing it, or, we go through life where we're really excited when we start and we're really excited to finish, but it's the middle that's tough. It's the middle that's tough. And so it's staying that course in the middle, right? And so you've got to push through the numbers. So we say, the numbers will take out the emotion. So that's why I always focused on 30 to 50 faces and tracking. Did I interview them? Where am I at with the team building layering chart within that person? And what happened is if I did 30 faces, I normally had 3 to 5 recruits. If I did 50 faces, I normally had 5 to 10 recruits. It's just the numbers. And then if you're doing that and 5 of your team members are doing that, that's where multiplication is happening, right? All right, number 11, track like crazy. Track like crazy. And that's what we just talked about. Track like crazy. I don't care if you get a 99-cent notebook and you literally write 1 through 50. Okay, in April, I hope you've already done that in the front of your 99-cent notebook. Put 1 through 50. And every face you see, you put their name, you put their cell phone number. How much did they buy? Did you interview them? Okay, and what's your next step? So you're constantly going back and tracking and layering. It's just, it doesn't have to be anything impressive or some special notebook or some special handout. It just has to be tracked. I want you to become obsessed tracker. I want you to make tracking sexy. I want you to bring sexy back with tracking. I want you to track your faces, track that you shared with them, track, where you're at with everything. Become obsessed with tracking. Okay, number 12. Power closing statements. So how are we going to get someone from a 6 to a 10? How are we going to bring someone from a B to an A? Okay. So these are just some closing statements. So let's say I've got Mary sitting in front of me and she's got a 6. Okay. And I'm sitting down with her and I've already, I've closed her sale. I've booked her follow-up, and then I'm going to say to her, now, Susie, I see here that you're a 6 on a scale from 1 to 10, right? Okay, awesome. What more information could I get you to get you from a 6 through a 10? I would love to have you on my team. That's exactly how I say it. Hey, Susie, I just loved meeting you today, and I know you're going to enjoy your product. I see here that you're a 6. What more information could I get you from a 6 through a 10? I would love to have you on my team. Notice my body language. I'm coming into her. I'm taking my right eye into her right eye. I'm smiling, and I'm like, that's what I'm doing. It's my body language. And then I'm listening. Well, I don't know. I'm so busy. Like I'm teaching. I've got the 3 kids, and this sounds so good, but I just don't know. And then I'm going to go back to overcome objections. I know, Susie, I know you're so busy. We've got so many moms though. And I try to think of a story that would relate to her. You know, I have a mom on my team. She also has 3 kids and she's a teacher, and she just kind of, she wears the product. She does it when she can. She does like 1 party a week, and she's making an extra $300 a week. Would $1,200 a month make a difference for you? Would that make an impact in your life? Like, think about that. $1,200, that would be extra Target. That might be an extra credit card to pay off, or, you know, Christmas gifts that you could save for and put aside for, you know. So whatever she says, I'm going to help overcome. And then after overcoming about 2 or 3, I'm just like, Susie, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. Again, moving forward, taking my right eye into her right eye. Susie, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. And I've got the agreement out, I've got my pen, and I'm shaking my head, and I'm excited. And it's just about asking. Sometimes we just don't ask. We just keep them there at a 6. We just keep them there at a B because we don't ask. We don't get out of our comfort zone. So you could say what I just said to you. What more information could I get you from a 6 through a 10? I would love to have you on my team. You're listening for the objection. You're going to overcome it. And then you're going to say, you could say different things like, let's just give it a try. Let's just give it a go. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know, it's a $10 loss. I mean, really, you love the product. Think about the discount you're going to get. Think about the tax deduction. And I'm shaking my head and I've got the agreement. Or maybe I would say something like this. If money weren't an option, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? If money weren't an option, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. Or, I would love to work with you. Would you love to work with me? I see here that you're a 7 on a scale from 1 to 10. I would love to work with you. Would you love to work with me? And you wait. Guys, the closing statements are so huge. Some of you get on there, but you don't close it. Please write these statements down. What more information can I get you from a 7 to a 10? I would love to have you on my team. Is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. If money weren't an option today, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started? I would love to have you on my team. I would love to work with you. Would you love to work with me? Okay, I want you to listen to those. Write those power statements down and get good at just sealing the deal. And sometimes they just, again, they do it because they like you, because you get them, because you're speaking their language, and because you ask, and because you care. And sometimes they might say no, which leads me to number 13. Get over the no's. No means next. You have to get through the no's to get through the yeses. So you just have to feel the fear and do it anyway, and you're going to get better the more you do it. And just because she says no right now, it might not be no forever. When someone says no to me, I say, great. I love our customers. Listen, I'm always looking for incredible ladies. If you know somebody, or you have a friend or a family member or coworker that you see a quality in them that would make them a great consultant, if you refer them, I'll give you $50 of free product. You can be my talent scout. You can be helping me build my business. I would appreciate that. But in the meantime, I'm going to make you my preferred customer, and I'm going to take care of you, and make sure you save my number in your phone, because I am your Mary Kay Beauty consultant. Okay, you guys? So in review, we're going to be prepared for the team, right? So we're going to have 50 marketing plans in color. We're going to have 50 closing sheets. We're going to have 25 agreements. We're going to have our team building app ready to text her, invitations to a meeting, right? We are, number 2, sharing our passionate I story and letting people in and practicing our story and sharing it with everyone. Number 3, we have an order of how we share. You know, we have the beginning, which is our I story. We have the Mrs. Cap, and at the end, we've got the numbers and the closing and asking those closing questions, right? Number 4, we're going to pray for the qualities we want. We're going to be aware when we see it. We're going to know what to do with it. Number 5, we're going to know how to work our I love your opinion forms and really work on getting them from a B to an A or a 6 or a 10. And sometimes that might mean meeting for coffee or bringing them to an event or getting them on the phone with our director. Number 6, mastering overcoming objections. You're going to memorize overcoming these objections. You're going to get really, really good at it. Number 7, you're going to master your close. You're going to know who you're in front of. You're going to know your D's. You're going to know your I's. You're going to know your S's, and you're going to know your C's. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask your director to teach you about that. Number 8, your body language. You're going to be smiling. You're going to take your right eye into their right eye, and you're going to nod your head, and you're going to expect that you're going to join your team. And number 9, you're going to work the layering chart. You're going to work the layering chart. Number 10, you're going to know that it's a numbers game, and the numbers are going to take the emotion out of it. Number 11, you're going to make tracking sexy. You're going to track every face, every interview, everything. And number 12, you're going to have power statements. And last but not least, you're going to get over the nose. Yes? Awesome. Okay, you guys, in closing, I'm going to share with you how I share the marketing and close as an example. My goal is to do this in like 10 minutes, and I want you to practice, okay? So let's pretend that I'm in front of Mary right now. You're Mary, I'm me. I'm going to do this real quick. And so let's say I'm meeting her for a coffee, okay? Oh my gosh, Mary, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that yesterday we got together, we got to try the product, and I'm so excited. I hope you love your miracle set. I'm excited about your up and coming party in 2 weeks. I know I got to tell you a little bit about the opportunity, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit more. And so in front of you, you've got this little marketing sheet. I'm just gonna go over how we make our income, and then you're going to fill out this little closing sheet just to tell me your opinion. And it just really enhances my training. And you know, I really, really love to get professional women's opinions like yourself. And just for listening, you're going to go into a drawing. And whatever your drawing is, your Michael Kors purse or your Kate Spade bag that your director's doing or whatever, okay? So this is the deal, Mary. There's 3 ways that we make income, okay? There's 3 ways to make income. The first way is by sharing our product. Mary, do you know that we make 50% on everything we sell? We buy for $1 and we sell for $2. That is one of the highest paid commissions of any direct selling business. We buy for $1, we sell for $2. It's consumable. It's washing down the drain morning and night. And let me tell you something, that when you sell something, you want to sell something that's consumable. There's different ways to sell. You can have a one-on-one facial and make 50%. You can have a party with 3 to 6 people, and we show you how to do that. You can take on-the-go orders. You can wear the product and someone says, oh my gosh, I love your lip gloss. How can I get it? And they order it out of a catalog. You can do basket sales. You can have a website for $25 a year. So there's so many different ways you can make that 50%. So they're directly paying it to you with your cash, check, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, okay? And the second way we make our income, Mary, is through our leadership program. And so the great thing about Mary Kay is that you can move as fast as you want or as slow as you want. But like, let's say you're sharing the product and you have a woman that says, I want to join your team. So you start building your team and you're thinking, okay, where am I gaining that commissions from? Well, corporate, which is in Dallas, Texas, we will never go retail. Mary Kay signed a contract that we would never go retail. So all that money that's saved on overhead and advertising, corporate's able to save and pay us in commissions. So let's say, Mary, that you have a team of 5 ladies and they collectively sell $5,000, right? Okay, so you sell $5,000 as a team. You get a love check on the 15th of the month from corporate, not hurting your team, not hurting your senior, not hurting your recruiter. It comes from corporate, and it starts at 4%, and it can move up to 36%. The bigger the team, the higher the commission check. So let's say you're making an extra $1,000 a month on sales, but you're getting an extra $100 a month from team building, you know? And the true way to wealth, Mary, is to multiply yourself. And it's so much fun to build a team and impact lives and enrich women's lives. And so when I first started, I just wanted to sell. But as I started to share the opportunity and build my team, it just was so rewarding. And that's why I earned my car, earned trips, and today have become a national. And so the team building is just incredible. And like, maybe you could show her the career path flyer. I wouldn't go too much into detail on numbers. I would just kind of show her it can start from 4 to 36%. And then I kind of share with her, then you'll share with her if you've moved up the career path, you'll give her example of your commission check. Like, so I say, you know, my first commission check was like $40, and then it was $100, and then it was a few thousand. And today it's been in excess of $60,000. So again, your story. So maybe your commission check has been $40 or $100. Be realistic. Share with her those things, or share with your director's highest commission check. Be relatable. So you're talking about the 50% of how they make on sales, then you're talking about moving up the career path. And then last but not least, as you move up the career path, you can earn cars. And you're showing her pictures of cars, right? Because you've got to be visual with women. So the first car is a white Chevy Cruze. If you take the car, they pay for 85% of your insurance. If not, you get $425 cash a month. Isn't that exciting? And then the next car is a black Camry or a black Chevy Equinox, or $500 cash. And normally our directors earn that, or you get $500 cash. And then we've got our top car, which is our SRX, our Pro Lace Pink SRX, for our top directors, or you get the $900 cash per month. And then at my level, the national, we get the pink Escalade or $1,400 cash a month. Girl, earning a car since I was 22 has saved us so much money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in car payments. Like, to drive free is incredible. And that's really what attracted me, Mary, is like, when I first started, I thought, you know what, if I could ever earn a car, that'd be great. And then so much more came out of it. Do you think you could earn a car? Would that excite you? So again, it's those three things. And then I tell her, I just add little tidbits, like there's no territories, you can recruit and sell anywhere. So like, let's say you start here and then you move to another state, everything goes with you. There's no quotas. You can sell as much as you want or as little as you want. And that's the good news. We have ongoing training. You could be meeting at a training center or even a Google Hangout. You could be in your pajamas learning on our app or through one of our trainings. You'll have a director, a national like me, teaching and training you and guiding you. You're never on your own. Just remember that if you do well, so do I. So I want to get you winning. I want to get you changing your family's life and situation and winning. It's only $100 to get started. You get all of this. You get over $410 of product for $100. Pretty cool, right? So you just fill out an agreement. It's not a marriage contract. You get $410 of product. I think it's a great deal because all of that full-size skincare that you tried yesterday, it was like $95. And then with your foundation and everything, like, you know, it adds up to like $144 or so. So you might as well start an opportunity that can change your life, give you tax deductions, and you could service yourself, a few friends, family. And like I said, you know, most of our part-time consultants do this an extra 2 to 4 hours per week and make an extra $5,000 to $11,000 a year. Our hobby consultants, our part-time consultants maybe do this for, you know, an extra 5-10 hours a week. And, you know, they might make a little bit more, but full-time in Mary Kay is like part-time in corporate world. So like 20 to 25 hours a week could give you a great income. Our average consultants make $5,000 to $11,000 a year. Our directors normally make anywhere from $2,000 to $30,000 a month, and our nationals normally make anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 a month. So as you can see, this is a serious business, and you can make it what you want. Isn't that cool? And there's great tax deductions. It's just incredible. So after sharing with you that, I want to share with you before you fill out this little survey. I know you might be thinking, like, I want to do this, but I don't have time. And this, ladies, is where I insert overcoming objections before I hear them from her. So a lot of women don't have time, but what I've found is that the busier the woman, the easier this is, because it's, you know, everybody has skin. You're never going to run out of skin. So when you're at work, when you're taking your kids to school or church or doing life, you're seeing people with skin, and you can incorporate your business. The second concern I hear is I'm shy or I'm not the sales type. Well, first of all, I have so many different people on my team. I've got shy, I've got outgoing, and most women don't enjoy being shy. So you're going to learn to grow without even feeling the pain of it because it's so much fun. The product just sells itself. Or you might be thinking, I don't have the $100. And honestly, Mary, that's why you should do this, because it takes money to make money. I didn't have the $100. I put it on a credit card, praying that it would go through, and today I've made over $3.5 million for Mary Kay just by saying yes and overcoming my fear. And the way I thought was, worst case scenario, I'm going to have better skin, make friends, and own my own business, and have the opportunity to stay at home with my future family, my future babies, and accomplish my dreams, right? And the biggest thing that would hold you back probably today is just fear, Mary. And all fear is false evidence appearing real, and you'll never know unless you try. So after saying all that, I just want to get your opinion. So that's when you're going to give her the I love your opinion form. And this is where you're going to listen and use your ears. She's going to fill it out. And as she's filling it out, I'm just going to ask her, so Mary, from everything I talked to you about, like, what appealed to you? Money, car, whatever. We're working off of that. Second question. Let's say you were to do this part-time. What quality about you would make you a great beauty consultant? And then I listen. Oh, I like people. I like makeup. Great. We work off of that. Okay, so you heard me overcome some objections. Were there any extra objections or concerns that you had? I would love to have you on my team. And this is where, again, I listen. Well, I just moved here and I don't know many people. Okay, Mary, so you just moved here and you don't know that many people. What a great reason to join, because you're going to meet so many great positive people. And you know what? I've had people start this business with knowing a large sphere of influence and not, and I've seen them be successful. And so, I mean, I've had a girl that's sold $1 million, and she only knew 5 people in South Florida. And so I teach you with the correct scripts. You know, Mary, your words don't work, mine too. I have actually proven scripts that I teach you that you can take those 5 people and we'll transfer it into 25 people. And so as long as you're willing to learn, I can teach you how to meet people and get connected here. And then last but not least, on a scale from 1 to 10, and this is exactly what I say, you guys, and I want you to memorize this. On a scale from 1 to 10, they did a study at Harvard that successful women are decision makers. They make their yes a yes and their no a no, okay? So I want you to just tell me the truth and just be honest here. You cannot be a 5. A 1 to 4 is someone that says, I'm good, I don't need extra money, I'd rather be a customer, but I'll refer you business. So that's 1 to 4. A 6 through 10 is someone that says, you know what, I'm nervous and scared, but I want to change my life. I've been praying for something more. I need to make extra money. I want to earn a car. Or I don't know what's going to come from this, but I love the product. I want to get it half off. I want to change my life. There's something that's pulling me towards this. And so Mary, where are you on that scale from 1 to 10? And then whatever number she circles or whatever number she tells me, that's when I start overcoming and helping her move from here to here. And that's where we go back to those closing statements that I just told you. Okay, Mary, so you're a 7. Oh my gosh, that's higher than I was. I was a 6. So what more information could I get you from a 7 to a 10? I would love to have you on my team. And you're listening and you're overcoming. Or, you know, as you're winding down, you're just gonna say, listen, Mary, I just want to have you on my team. I just think you'd be great, you know, bring out great skills that you see in her. I see that you're already a leader in your community. You know, the night that I came over and did a party, you were so personable. Everybody loves you. The product looks great on you. Let's give it a go. You know, is there any reason why we couldn't get you started today? I would love to have you on my team. Or, you know, Mary, I would love to work with you. Would you love to work with me? Guys, do you get it? That's how you do it. 10 minutes, I share, you know, and before I share, I obviously listen to her, like, what do you do and what are your goals and everything. But then I get into the nitty gritty. So you guys, I want you to watch this. I want you to get good at this. I want you to become pro in sharing and closing. And through you sharing this product with 30 to 50 bases a month, and through you sharing with everyone and not prejudging, you will build an incredible team. You will build an incredible team, and you will take what maybe is your biggest fear and turn it into your biggest strength. I'm excited about that for you. So I have some fun homework for you to master these skills. Okay, so this week, your goal is to make 50 copies of the marketing plan that we email you, 50 front and back, okay? Because you're believing for the signing. You're gonna make 50 copies of your I Love Your Opinion form. You're gonna order at least a set of 5 sets of 5 of the agreements online. You're going to make sure that you've downloaded our Dare Area app or your Nationals app and get familiar with the team building stories there so you know what stories will connect with people to text, okay? So you're gonna get 25 points for that. You're gonna do 10 practice interviews this week by yourself or with your director, okay? When you do that, you get 50 points. For every new team member you add this week, you're gonna get 50 points. You're going to memorize and master overcoming objections, okay? You're gonna know it by heart. I want you to read it at least 3 times a night and get so good at it and start practicing it. I want you to amp up your I story, recreate it, amp it up. I want you to print off the team building as a layering chart and start filling in your past customers, the past people you're layering, and get so great at tracking. And then for every miracle morning you have, obviously you're gonna get more points. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope that you feel like, wow, I really feel like I can master my skills on sharing and closing. I'm excited about you going pro and building your team.